morning, welcome back to another video, and today is another day of the Zero to Gold Cap Challenge. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Okay, so today we are in Winter Grasp, and I'm pretty certain what you think I have been doing, and that is my mining. I have managed to get hold of some Dark Moon Firewater and just started mining the hell out of the lovely zone of Winter Grasp. So the mining route on the screen right now is the one that I've actually taken for the Saronite Ore. This means that I've just been following this for an hour and there's not really much else to say for a mining farm. Basically, just fly around following the route and you will get 10 ton of these types of materials, which is titanium ore, Saronite ore, some eternal shadows, some eternal fires, and some eternal earths. Now you do get an array of different other things like the old school gems, which actually do sell, but they take a little while in order to sell, so to speak. But the other things are eternal air and just an array of different things which you can then craft or sell on the auction house. Now, why do I actually bring this farm up? It's obviously my favourite farm to ever do, and that's mainly because it's Winter Grasp and I totally love this area, and the materials sell pretty damn fast overall. For that being said, what am I planning to do for today? Well, I am going to be going into Worth It, which is under my farms, and if you can sell, I've actually recorded the entire farm for the hour, which is about 13,047 gold. Now the sell rate average is at 0.14, but that's taken into account all of the other sell rates of the low tier gems, so bear that one in mind going forward. Now I do have like an extra 1,000 gold worth of Dark Moon Firewater, so exclude that in our bag value. And titanium ore Winter Grasp $GG is the export at this moment in time. Well, not for very much longer. What I plan on doing is by using our smelting in order to actually craft us a load of different types of things. So without further ado, let's jump over to Dalaran and start smelting all of our different types of ore. Now we need to double check a few things, and we shall right now. So as we're loading in, what I actually mean by all of that is basically we're going to double check our smelting. So if it's actually worth smelting our titanium ore. So at the moment it's at a lesser than that. So it's 95 gold min bio and a 124 gold market value for titanium ore. And that's 2 to make 1 bar. And the bars are selling at 199 gold. So if at this moment in time, you can make just a little bit more, but it's going off of the market value for the actual titanium bars when it comes to TSM. So what I plan on doing is probably not going to smelt that regardless, because we're going to use this into something else. So that being the case, let's just jump over to our lovely little forge and let's start smelting, shall we? And we'll go into filters and have materials, apply the filter and just start smelting everything we actually have. Now the key aspect of this is, so when it comes to smelting, what we're going to be doing from this actual farm is we're going to start crafting all of our bars, and then once we've done that we're going to craft our Titan steel, and then once we actually have that as well, we can then work on all the other different types of things. So judging by this, we're going to require a few things at the moment, and if we jump into Saronite bars, we can then take off the actual filter, and then we can jump down to Saronite. And what are we missing to craft our Titan steel? And at this moment in time, we can create 2 Titan steel bars from what we actually have from our farm for the hour. So that's going to increase our gold because they're worth more. Like a 23 gold profit on top of that as well. So 845 gold for 1 Titan steel bar. So that's pretty alright. I'm not going to complain at that. And when it comes to our Saronite bars, which we're actually going to be smelting quite a lot of, we're going to send those over to the Zathrash, which is our alchemist, who will turn those into more titanium bars, as the titanium bars will cost more. But in order to double check this, we can always match the price for titanium bars and Saronite bars. So at this moment in time, a Saronite bar will go for 25 gold, and for that 25 gold we can times that by 8, which is 200. So a titanium bar should hit around about 200 gold for this, which is basically near on dead on the point. So if we sell that at the market value instead of the min buyout, we should hopefully make up that 200 gold. So if I wanted to sell the Saronite bars, I can, but usually I like to sell them as titanium bars because I find personally that they sell faster, and then I actually get my gold even more when we actually go through all of this. So this is going to take a little while in order to do, so we're just going to let this run. But while we're actually waiting for these bars to actually smelt, what I plan on doing is asking a little favor. Now I'm currently going to be starting work on the new module for Worth It for retail, and that is the raw gold module. Now, raw gold farming, yeah, this is going to take a little while in order to do, and basically what we're actually going to be doing is the initial first build of all of the raw gold farms. We're just going to be doing raid farming, so that would be Wrath of the Lich King raids, Kata raids, Mr. Pandaria raids, Warlords of Draenor, and Legion. We also are going to do a freehold one, and what I'm actually basically asking is if anyone would like to help gather some of the data for the initial farm, I would very much appreciate it, and I will post this directly onto my Discord, which is going to be the list of all the raids that need to be farmed. I'm going to start farming them tonight as well, and we'll try and gather up as much raw gold data as we can, so then we can implement that into Worth It for the next upcoming update with a raw gold module for us. The only things that are required is keep track of how much raw gold you actually make, along with keeping track of your time, like telling me how much time you've actually did it in. That would be really invaluable for actually putting onto the Worth It add-on as well, so we can get somewhat of a good gauge on how long it's going to take random people to actually do a raw gold farm to weigh up the pros and cons of whether it's actually worth it. So that being the case, the only other little snag that you may come across is if you guys decide to do some of the Legion raids. I know myself, I'm not geared enough to actually take on Antorus on like 25-man heroic, but all of the other raids should be fine on 25-man heroic. But when it comes to the Legion ones, I'm going to set that for at least 10-man, and then as and when we can actually start farming them at higher rank, we'll then obviously redo those modules for that. But aside from that, guys, that's basically what I'm asking, is just a little favor. Just if you've got a spare 5 minutes, run a raid and tell me how much raw gold you got, and that will be all the information will be on the announcements page on the Discord if you wish to help out. So now we're actually coming to the end of our Saronite bars, so that's pretty damn good. I'm actually pretty damn happy with that. We'll just ignore this bag and clean it up because I hate that when it doesn't do that. We're going to craft our Titan steel bars, and now what we're going to do is we're going to send over our Saronite bars to Zathrash in order to use for his alchemy. So bing bang bosh, we'll Zathrash and grab that, and then send that over. So what we're actually doing is we're going to be building up our and seeing if it's actually worth it to actually do the Wintergrass farm and then turn them into the bars in order to sell on the auction house, because at the end of the day, if it's not worth doing, you might as well have that data log in my farms in order to know actually it's worth transmuting them into those different types of bars in order to sell on the auction house for maximum a gold per hour, so to speak. So we're going to punch into our alchemy. We're just going to go into my materials or have materials and then transmute all of those titanium bars. So we can make 26 of these titanium bars, so that's pretty damn good going forward. I'm definitely going to enjoy how it's actually going to play out, so to speak, and yeah, I'm pretty confident that it will sell and work out really well. So all we've got to do is we've got to finish this off and then jump into Worth It on Cortana and just do the minor editing, which will give us our gold per hour overall for this actual farm. So then we can gauge if it's actually worth it to just farm and sell the ore, or farm and sell the bars and the transmutes that are going along with this. So now it's all done, we'll send this over to Corthana, and then we can then just jump back over to her, and then we can then start editing. Like I said, let's go into what we actually got from Zathrash, and let's start editing what we have left over. So we have a decent amount going forward. We've got quite a lot of titanium bars from one farm for the hour, thanks to our utilising our alchemist. So let's go into my farms and go down towards the titanium ore farm. And we're just going to want to edit this actual farm, so to speak. There's not a lot left when it comes to our Saronite, because we are completely out of our Saronite. We had exactly the right amount, so Saronite is getting removed. And when it comes to crystallized earth, we will then get rid of these, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of all of the crystallized. Titanium ore we're going to actually want to decrease, however, and that can only be turned to 1, and then we can then go down and find all of the others. Bing bang bosh, there is no more others to actually edit, so then all we've got to do is then add the new sets for the crystallized stuff going forward. So that means adding in all of our Eternals and all that stuff. So crystallized air, we will then go find our crystallized air, and we will then edit that, because we only have 3 of those. With eternal air, which is down here at the bottom again, we have 3 eternal airs. And then with the crystallized fire, we only have 1, so back down to fire, we only have 1, so we don't need to edit that. Eternal earth, we have 9 of those, so edit that back in, or not 91, that would be way too obscene, so 9 of those. And the crystallized shadow, add that in. I'm pretty certain you understand how this thing works, so yeah, it's pretty damn easy when you actually get the hang of it. Crystallized earth, however, we actually forgot to do that one when we did the eternal earth, and let's just edit that to 2, and then all we've got to do is add our eternal shadow. So eternal shadow is right here, select that, press 8, and then go into our crystallized water. We should not actually edit the crystallized water, edited the crystallized water out, because at the end of the day, that's just that was a little bit silly on my part. But oh well, once it's done, and we can then move forward, going forward with that. So let's just add those in and go down to the bottom. So that's 42 titanium bars we actually got from this, and we also got 2 titan steel bars as well. So now all we've got to do now is then just say titanium ore / alchemy and $GG, and then we can then save those, and then we can now see and price them up against each other. So what actually transpired is actually, now we can go into our farms for mining. We can see that the Saronite ore farm for me on Worth It is actually an average of 11,526 gold, and that's pulling that up, this one up here. And then when it comes to my farms, we can now cross-reference that with the other one, which is titanium ore and / alchemy, and that is 11,725 gold. So if I wanted to actually check this, we can actually then see if it's worth it, and 11,500, 11,500 and 11,700. So it's actually worth us to get a couple of hundred more gold by actually crafting them into their necessary bars and titan steel bars. So this one may be varied for you moving forward, but at the end of the day, it's just a nice little flip just going forward, to be honest. So the export will be in the import logs on the Discord if you really want to use it and see if it's actually worth it for you to do the hours farm and then do that. Obviously, it does depend on server to server whether or not it will actually be a lot better for you per hour. But aside from that, guys, let's get into the gold for the day. And the gold for the day is a healthy 52,306 gold. Obviously, I've just been posting once a day again and just letting it run. The things of note that we've actually sold is 13 Greater Flasks of Vast Horizon for 7,398 gold, an Enchant Ring Accord of Critical Strike, 7 of those for 3,265 gold. We actually sold 72 Pyrian Bars from our daily Transmutes for 10,204 gold. We sold 134 Volatile Fire for 2,391 gold, as we're not really doing the mounts anymore because Vala Sands has kind of bottlenecked now. Ever since I started talking about it, it seemed to have bottlenecked, and it's not really worth actually farming to craft even now. We also sold 50 Sallow Pigment from the other day's video, 6,407 gold for that. We sold a Comfortable Rider's Barding, 8 of those for 6,465 gold. A War Scroll of Intellect, 40 of those for 6,839 gold. Volatile Water, 226 for 3,622 gold. And that's basically of note, besides just like a few things that weren't just a few glyphs that are just under 1,000 gold. But 52,306 gold is pretty damn awesome, to say the least. Now we can just start building up. We're obviously doing more farming now, and that is basically what I'm going to be doing moving forward. Maybe a bit of transmog, maybe a bit of just general farming in general. But other than that, I'm thoroughly enjoying myself a bit more. Once again, the Raid Night stuff was pretty good, but it's getting even more competitive at the moment, so I'm just going to step away from that and let it do its thing and readjust as an economy does. But aside from that, guys, that's basically all I wanted to talk about today, is just the titanium ore farm. Is it worth it for you? Go find the import in my Discord and see if it's worth it in order for you to do per hour, than opposed to actually just selling the ore on the auction house. Other than that, guys, have an awesome rest of the day, and I shall see you tomorrow.